Hello everybody, welcome back. So let's have a look at Matic then, shall we? But first of all, we'll just have a brief look at Bitcoin, see what's going on with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, you could call this a bull flag. You could call it, you could call it a failed attempt to continue with its bullish trend. Because what's happened now is, just very briefly, like I say, because we will be going on to Matic, but just very briefly, what's happened is that we made this big attempt to just go completely crazy. A few weeks ago, we found ourselves coming back down to test this descending trend, which was where our support was. It's continued to be a support because what happened is we were above all major moving averages, which was great. It was looking very, very positive. We even had a bullish cross from the 8 to the over this 34 EMA, which was pretty bullish as well. But what's happened now is that it's all gone wrong. So the positive of all of this is that we've bounced again on the bottom of this descending trend. The descending trend that we were stuck beneath all this time has now become a support, but if this does break down, and we do break down beneath this, we will continue with this move down. And I said it, and I've been saying it a long time now. One of my main things that I've been going by, which contradicts most of the things on the short-term time frames, is the Ichimoku cloud cross. We had a cross from the conversion line over the baseline on the weekly chart, and that would generally mean a continuation of the move down. Okay, so we've got the Ichimoku cloud here, so we turn it back on, turn it back off. You can see how we have this cross take place here. This cross generally would suggest a continuation of the move down. We didn't move down, we actually moved quite significantly up. But are we going to continue with that move up or continue with that move down? What I'm saying now is that until, and I've kind of said this before, until we break above 11,200 and continue to break above there with candle closes above there on dailies, I'm not bullish. However, at this moment in time, I'm not exactly bearish. We need to break down beneath this descending trend with a candle body close beneath it, and as it's going down every day, we have a lower figure every day of where that will be. But you could, if you've not already mapped this one out, it's very easy to map out. Just go from the top and make sure that your descending trend touches these trend lines here. But like I say, if we break down beneath there, then I would certainly be looking at more bearish moves down into 7,000s and perhaps maybe to the all-time low area where I was expecting to go, which was around 6,800 to 6,600. Now it could go a lot lower actually now, because what I wanted was this to break down sooner rather than later, to break down to touch these areas here on the top of this cloud. Now that the cloud is gone green, and there's not much area for it to be supported within it, and the only moving averages beneath us currently are the 50 EMA, the 200 simple, and the 50 simple. There's nothing else beneath us here, and the cloud is going to be very thin, so if it does break down beneath it, it could get very nasty, into 5,000s and lower. If it breaks down now, it should have broken down before and we would have had a better chance of recovery. If it breaks down now, and it goes below the target I had of 6,600, we will be talking about a very low valued Bitcoin. Maybe 5, maybe 4,000. But again, this is just speculation. At the moment, we're still holding on this descending trend, and that's the one thing to be grateful for. Are we going to be moving up? Are we going to be moving down? It's very difficult to say. We are beneath all major moving averages right now, so on the daily. So it looks like if we do move up, it might be a little bit of a struggle to get back up to where we came down from recently. Not really looking for any big moves like this at all. In fact, if anything, I'm looking for a trickle down beneath, bouncing around this area and probably not finding our way above 9,350 anytime soon. Anyway, that's enough about Bitcoin. Let's have a look at Matic, because Matic's doing very, very well actually. Matic has been having green day after green day after green day for almost a week now, which is pretty good. They're not massive moves, but it's nice. It's nice moves, nice looking moves. And at the moment, we're currently above all moving averages on both the tether pairing and on the Bitcoin pairing, which is pretty good. We had a huge wick go up here just out the blue, a really fast move right up to 1.6 cent and back down again. That might be a little bit of a scary wick, but because it happened so quickly, what that tells me is that people are planning on buying up a lot more Matic in the future. There's something that's likely to be happening next week to cause this to go a little higher than where it is already. Can we get higher than 1.7? I probably think we could. Whether that happens in this next week ahead, I think it's actually quite likely that could happen. What we really do have to be aware of, and this is where it all comes down to, we have to make sure that Bitcoin doesn't break down. If Bitcoin breaks down, it's going to pull everything else down. Matic does seem to be doing its own thing, but it can't escape the rest of the market. So what I'm going to say here is, now we've had little runs like this. This was over the Coinbase announcement. This will just seemed to appear out of breaking down beneath a lower triangle figure that we had. I don't have that charted in, but basically it was a descending trend similar to the one you saw with Bitcoin, and we broke it down. Let's see if I can map it in for you here. It was basically right on the nose here. Where did that take place? Sorry about this. I should have planned this video, but I'm so busy these days. It's very difficult to actually do things like that. So we had that's very rough. We had a descending trend that we were being rejected from each time. We broke above it. So now that we're above that, we look as though we're actually starting to make decent attempts to make our way above this level here, which is the 2 cent mark. 2 cent is going to be pretty important to break, because that's significant resistance there. We bounced around there for quite a long time on the 2 cent mark before we broke down here, but the most important is this 2.7 cent mark. That's where we will really start to see things doubling, quadrupling in its value. I'm not really sure we're likely to get there quite soon. Matic is making bolder moves than most altcoins, I should say. So what I have been looking at is the crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin chart, which I don't have up at the moment, but basically there's no golden cross in the anytime soon, but that as a chart is looking pretty good to make a recovery. And Matic is probably going to be making a recovery before that chart in general, so getting a head start ahead of the alt season. So one of those coins that actually would be really good to invest in. I suppose, I'm not a financial advisor, so it's not financial advice, but getting ahead of the game, because this coin will be making moves before the alt season, and then when the alt season comes around, which will be between 6 to 8, maybe 10 weeks from now, it will go in hyperdrive, and the hyperdrive will kick in above this level of 2.7 cent. That's when we could probably look at this chart and we will have topped our all-time high, and maybe it might be a bit optimistic, but maybe even doubles that. We might probably not quite doubled it, but I'm looking at around 7 or 8 cents, I think, for Matic at the end of that alt season, which should have begun or about to begin in about between 6 to 10 weeks from now. But it's all dependent on Bitcoin. Bitcoin must hold above this level. It can trickle down on this level and test this descending trend, but it can't break down from it, because that will break down the market, because this will create huge red candles back down to where we came from, and maybe even lower. So we are hoping that Bitcoin can sustain some value and not break down. It can go down in value, bouncing on this descending trend. Maybe not for too long, but for the rest of the year we could probably deal with that. But it cannot break down beneath it, because that will impact Matic. It will impact all altcoins. Not many altcoins will be able to resolve themselves after something like that, and the alt season will essentially be postponed, if not cancelled. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. So again, Matic looking like it could top this 1.7 to perhaps maybe a 1.8 cent area before a breakdown again, or just a significant pullback. But yeah, all eyes on Bitcoin, and let's hope that Bitcoin doesn't break down before January, because January is when this whole alt season, this whole alt market will start to rocket, and it will do a lot better than Bitcoin will, if Bitcoin doesn't break down. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Have a nice evening.